it's a pleasure to share these moments with all of you. First, I want to thanks to Gabriele Malogi for the opportunity to meet with Steve Norrell. And thank you also to Mark Hamson, who will help us to the translation to Spanish. And Gabriele will be to the Italian translation en algún momento. No ríais. Now, Gabriele, your turn. Do you want to introduce Steve?
Okay. It's a pleasure for me. Do you prefer in Italian or in English? Okay, in English. I try. It's a pleasure for me to be here and introduce you Steve Norrell. He's one of the best bass trombone teacher and bass trombone players I never meet in my life. Ciao, Charlie. Mm-hmm. And last week we had another Zoom meeting where I spoke about the sound, the warm up, and today Steve Norrell will tell us some of his experience and ideas. And he was one of my best teacher, and he inspired me every day. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce you, Steve Norrell. And we have a special guest, Charlie Vernon. Ciao, Charlie. Buon appetito. We don't hear you. Okay.
There it is.
Ciao, Charlie. How are you?
This is the earliest I've been up in weeks. Wow. There's so many.
Hey, Charlie.
I have to read the names. I'm looking at people. Everybody say who you are.
Selfie.
Huh?
Great. Hey, Steve, if you want, we can. We would like to know some of your experience and some ideas and some suggestions from you.
Well, early, I fortunately joined back in 1974. So I've known him for a long time, back when he had hair. And it's an honor to be here at the time. I was fortunate to play in opera orchestra, as Gabriele does, and hear the greatest vocalists in the world. And I think that being exposed to the vocal style of singing and playing through the instrument has greatly influenced my concepts.
Traduzco o...
Venga.
Sí. Steve estaba diciendo, hello Steve, my name is Mark. I'm translating today from English into Spanish for you.
Okay, Mark.
If you don't mind. Steve estaba diciendo que él tiene la suerte de tocar en una orquesta ópera, tanto como igual que Gabriele, y ha tenido mucha suerte y afortunado en poder escuchar muchas veces todo su día, su vida profesional a cantantes y aprovechar y disfrutar de su estilo cantable. Thanks.
Mark, I was trying to look for your face. Say something again, Mark. There's so many of you on this thing.
Actually, I'm on another call, but I actually moved to next door to the next room where Johnny's Johnny
Okay.
computer is working much better. That's why.
Saverio.
Ciao. Bravo Saverio.
Oh, that's hilarious. Man, Cosmo.
Ciao Steve.
This is great seeing all you people. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing in your country? Our country's falling apart.
We are located. Everybody in prison.
I know.
Today in Italy, we started to move a little bit. We can go to visit our parents.
Yeah.
And we can move a little bit with mask. But I don't know if it's a good solution because it's still dangerous. But it's okay.
Gabriele, have you lost any friends?
What?
Have you lost any friends from virus?
No, I don't know people with the virus. No, I'm lucky. And in my country, the situation is pretty good. Was pretty good, yes.
Wow.
Do you know some people had the virus?
We lost a violist 3.5 weeks ago from the orchestra.
Terrible.
Yeah. He was 60 and he was in health, and he got sick very fast and passed away.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Okay, Abel.
Yeah.
Do you have, guys, avete qualche domanda? Questa è un incontro un po' diverso da quello dell'altro giorno. This meeting is a little bit different. And last time we had time to play a little bit. And today I think it's better if you have some question for Steve. And please don't worry. And if you have, I like your shirt, Charlie.
Yes.
Venga.
I wore it just for you.
Hay que hacerle,
Thank you very much.
hay que hacer preguntas para que hablen. Venga, chicos. ¿Alguien quiere preguntar algo?
No, this is great. That's some more.
Okay, I have a question for Steve. Can you tell us how important is the sing style in your play?
Well, whatever you're playing, I think you have to think of yourself making a statement. Thinking of you're making a statement, not asking a question, and everything has direction. A long time ago, there was an oboist in Philadelphia named Tito, and he had a phrasing class at Curtis. And Tabitha had a system assigning numbers to a certain point in the phrase. And Mr. Jacobs did similar things. But I think that whenever you're playing, you need to be making a statement.
Okay.
Steve, sorry, I wanted to ask you a question. If you have a student who's having problems connecting with the singing reflex, what sort of resources? How do you help them to get closer to the idea of singing and connecting with their instrument?
the first thing they would do is ask them to actually try to sing it with voice. Try to get them to think not in a technical way, but the way that it should sound if they were singing it. And inevitably, it's better when they play it.
Pues Steve ha dicho para todos los que de español que Steve está diciendo que si tiene problemas de conseguir que un alumno entiende o conecte con ese concepto de cantable, pues la primera cosa que haría es que hacerles y animarles de cantarlo lo mejor que pueden, y así el instrumento casi siempre suena mejor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? Su ragazzi.
Podéis también escribir en el chat. Alguien, si quiere escribir algo en castellano en el chat, si quisiera alguien preguntar algo.
I would like to know, this is for Charlie and for Steve, both of you. I would like to know what is the most important thing talking about the trombone for your students? ¿Qué quieres decir? ¿Qué es lo más importante que le dirían a un estudiante? ¿En qué lo enfocarían?
Okay, so Johnny's asking for both Charlie and for Steve, if there's one thing that you would ask your student to focus on when playing the trombone, what would that be?
Singing while playing. Thinking of the greatest sound that you can imagine being played on the trombone, and sing that while you are actually blowing air through it. That's probably the most important thing. And then trying to get one sound to go to another sound with no stuff in the middle of the sounds. That's my mission in life, is to get people to play one note followed by another note with no crap in between the sounds. So singing one note at a time with the best possible tone quality that you can imagine in your head is what I tell everybody every lesson all the time. Those of you who've studied with me, and I've been taking pictures of people. So I remember, Gabriele, I asked you the last time, take pictures of everybody, then put their name underneath it. This is great. I'm seeing Cosimo, Alessandro, and all these people that I know, and now their faces have a name. Anyhow, so I'm impressed with that all of you. Of course, it's later in the afternoon or whatever it is. What is it? 7, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or something like that for you guys. It's just great seeing everybody, and I just have to say that this pandemic that we have, that we're going through, all of us, has been a terrible thing for sure. This is my dog. She's saying hello. Hello, Sadie. Yeah, goodbye. Anyhow. So it's one of these things that we don't usually have this kind of time. All of you who play in orchestras and teach, you have a schedule. You can't. There's no free time, and all we have now is free time, and if you can call it that. Sorry, I'm going past your question, but at any rate, this is an opportunity for everybody to take these moments that you have, nothing pressing to do, and to really work on trying to make what you have better. It's a struggle. It's a struggle for all of us. I'm practicing a lot, and I'm trying to maintain what I have and just try to get better. This makes you think about the schedule of scheduling your life and doing the things that are important in your life, you know. So anyhow, sorry, I'm rambling. It's early in the morning, So good luck, Mark. Is that it? Good luck translating.
I'll work on that. I'll give you a second. Pues para todo el mundo, vale, pues Charlie está diciendo en primer lugar que también para él es muy importante cantar y usar y cantar mientras toquen y tener ideas, sobre todo si puede haber una voz en la cabeza a la misma vez. Y luego para él que su misión, la misión de su vida, efectivamente, es poder pasar de una nota a otra nota sin tener nada basura entre medias. Y eso dice que pasa toda su vida en cada clase diciendo lo mismo, prácticamente lo mismo a todos sus alumnos. Luego estaba hablando mucho de la pandemia y que efectivamente es un momento que no estamos haciendo nada y tenemos que estar en casa quietos, pues nos da una oportunidad de pensar en lo que realmente es importante para nosotros. Okay, that's a little condensed version.
Well, thanks. It's so great to see everybody.
One thing I would add to what Charlie was saying is having the conceptual sound blowing from one note to another is the relaxation of the production of wind, which is important to have your optimum result. Mr. Jacobs used to always say, weakness is your friend and strength is your enemy. And ideally, if the muscles are more relaxed, the wind just goes in and it goes out. You can have the maximum result. Wouldn't you agree, Chuck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, song and wind. For sure. Yeah, that's great. You have to...
Pues sí, pues lo que Steve quería añadir es que es un dicho también de Arnold Jacobs, que la debilidad es nuestro amigo y la fuerza o poder es nuestro enemigo. Pues si se puede mantener los músculos lo más relajado posible y el aire entra y sale tal cual, sin nada de esfuerzo, pues ya todo se hace mucho más fácil al final.
The relaxation shouldn't be something that you're thinking about while you're playing. It should be a trained reflex. You, as Charlie would say, you should be thinking about music at all time, but you establish these good habits of relaxation so that happens naturally when you play.
Ok, pues una cosa que está muy importante es que no se piense en la relajación en ese momento, pero más bien es un reflejo que se ha entrenado durante muchas horas de estudios y luego se deja la cabeza libre para pensar en la música.
Charlie, how many students do you have who get past more than the first 4 notes before you stop?
Say it again.
How many students do you have that get past the first 3 or 4 notes of going from one to the next? Get past
that. How many students do I have that can get from one note to the next?
Without you stopping them?
Not very many.
Yeah.
Not very many. No, it's we have a struggle. Why is somebody calling me? I hate the telephone. And it's all these telemarketing people. But basically, I spend, as you all know, all of you who know me and have played for me, and Steve for sure, that in my teaching all my life, I have sat on one side of the room and the other person sits on the other side of the room, and I play one note and we go back and forth, and then I play two notes, try to play two notes, and we go back and forth, and maybe sometimes three notes. As it's difficult because what happens in this process is that it makes me, as the I don't know what the teacher, I guess, of what is lack of a better word, it makes me play as well as I possibly can, and I take a breath and I blow through the trombone, whichever one it is, and I'm trying to sing every note that I possibly can, and I'm really blowing from note to note without any stuff in between the notes. And if I do that well, it comes across to the other person, and then they blow it back to me after hearing me try to do it to them, and they listen to what's coming, and then Jake would call it, I'm imparting knowledge to them, and then they are to listen to it and have it in their own head and then send it back to me. That's the way I've always taught, and all of you know that. And it's so much of the lesson is spent on basic fundamentals of that, and slurring one note to the next is something that a lot of people don't take the time to really understand, that a lip slur is a really fast lip buzz on the mouthpiece. It's a fast lip gliss, but it's fast. So the lip has to go right to that next note immediately in time. So I'm rambling again, Steve, sorry. And, so basically, I don't let them play more than 2 or 3 notes in a row, because we always go back to trying to get one and two together, 1 or 2 notes right. So, Mark, good luck with that.
Here we go. Pues sí, Charlie está diciendo que estaba comentando un poco sobre su método de clases, y dice que lo que suele pasar casi siempre cuando está dando clases es que está sentado en una habitación con su aula, con su alumno en el otro lado, y lo que él dice es que él intenta en esa situación, por supuesto, hacer todo lo mejor que puede, cantando y mostrando de la mejor forma que él puede, y por supuesto en ese caso el alumno escucha, y es una parte muy importante del proceso que también a Jake hubiera dicho, que ese proceso de procesar efectivamente esa idea en la cabeza y luego volver a tocarlo así a Charlie es una cosa que él hace casi, bueno, en la mayor parte de sus clases, y por eso en sus clases no suele dejar al alumno tocar más de 2 o 3 notas, porque suelen pasar todo el rato en la clase hablando y discutiendo, meditando cómo se vincula 2 notas. Y por ejemplo, una cosa que hay que entender, que una ligadura entre 2 notas es como un buzz sobre la boquilla, y es como un glissando muy rápido, pasando una nota a la otra. Es lo que efectivamente ha dicho. Charlie, both for Charlie and Steve, there were 2 questions here that came up on the chat. One was, what would be the most important things to be the perfect bass trombone in the orchestra, whether it be symphonic or in an opera orchestra? And also another person, Sabrina Navarro, asked about simply how she can improve her stamina on the instrument. Thank you.
Charlie, would you like to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the most important thing of being in an orchestra is being able to listen and play at the same time, and always be aware of how your voice fits in with everything else. rhythm is a constant. Whenever you had a lesson with Mr. Jacobs, his rhythm was so exact. You know, when he would sing something, it was so exactly right. I think the most important thing of playing in an orchestra is listening and seeing how you fit in with everyone. What do you think, Chip?
Ok, pues dice Steve que para él la cosa más importante al final es escuchar bien y saber el contexto y por dónde se encuentra en la orquesta. Y también como otra cosa que ha comentado es que la sensación de pulso interno, que por ejemplo el ritmo que es un constante y es muy, por ejemplo, Arnold Jacobs tenía un sentido de pulso interno y ritmo extremadamente exacto y siempre era como una piedra, y por eso dice que esos dos aspectos, pero sobre todo escuchar y saber cuál es el lugar de cada uno en la orquesta para ser un trombón bajo efectivo en la orquesta. Thank you.
A question for both of you. In your practice, do you work outside of the trombone? Outside the trombone?
What do you exactly mean?
Si trabajan fuera del trombón en su práctica.
When you're studying, do you do work away from the trombone as well?
What kind of work are you talking about?
Con la imaginación o visualización.
With the imagination or visualization or concepts, these sorts of things away from the trombone, or do you always link it to having the trombone in your hand?
Well, let me say something about that. When I first started studying with Mr. Jacobs, I came into his studio and I tried to play Bordoni number 2. And, you know, it was not very good. It was not a very good sound. I was playing at 88H at the time. And I played the first note and, you know, kind of smeared into the second note. And, you know, the third note was not very good. And I got through it. And he said, imagine what the greatest player in the world would sound like on that first note. And then play it. So this is kind of trying to answer your question. For 1 year, almost a year, what I did was, until I figured it out, what I did was think about that sound. Think about the sound. Trombone's in my hand. Thinking about the sound. Wow. I think about all these people that I admired of their playing. And I thought about the sound, and then I picked up the trombone and I blew it. And I just played. And it didn't connect the sound. So the concept of thinking about the best sound you can possibly have has got to go exactly at the same time as you're blowing the trombone. You have to be singing loudly in your head what you want to come out. And it took me some time to figure that out. So I think it's more of a one thing. Of course, you can think about, you know, you can listen to music and just imagine, wow, that's a great sound. What if that sound that I had in my head was like that? Or, you know, what I'm trying to say is, you don't need to divide it. You know, the concepts of playing, you know, happen immediately. I mean, the concept of really blowing and singing through the instrument happens at that moment in time when you're playing. And that's when the concentration has got to be there. You can think about, you know, in the orchestra, and Steve, I know that you know this, and Gabriele and everybody who plays, during the orchestra, when you're sitting there and you're not playing, you're listening to beautiful music, and Steve and Gabriele, you hear beautiful singers. They're great singers singing their hearts out. That's a wonderful thing. And we all sit there and are just integrated in this mesh of music, you know. But during that time, telephone again. But during that time, the idea is to when you pick up the trombone and have to play, that's when you concentrate 110% on what you're doing. The rest of the time, I can be thinking about 100 different things while the orchestra's going on. My mind is just all over the place, good and bad. So just to pull it all together is that when you're playing an instrument of any kind and you're playing in an ensemble, of course you hear what other people are doing, what's happening.
Oh,
Sorry, people talk. Yeah, you put it all together. At that moment in time, you fit in the ensemble, and that's when you concentrate. When you have to play, nothing else matters except you playing the best that you possibly can. With other people, your ears are going like this to hear other people, but your main concern is, boom, that you are playing with the sound that you have ingrained in your head. It's already there. That's the sound that you're going for. So there's another challenge for you, Mark, to come across with that. Okay.
You're keeping me busy today. Pues Charlie dice que en primer lugar, cuando él se fue a una de sus primeras clases con Arnold Jacobs, y tocó el segundo de Bodoni, y no, dice que cuando lo tocó la primera vez estaba tocando un con 88H y no salió muy bien, y por ejemplo la primera conexión entre dos notas estaba ahí con un poco grisando, no salió muy bonito, bueno, Jacobs le dijo, pues piensa en el mejor sonido que tú puedes imaginar, y se puso durante un año en pensar así, en pensar en 4 o 5 de los mejores trombonistas que él podía pensar, y todos los días entrenar este aspecto, pero con cara a juntarlo con el trombón, al final dice que cuando realmente cuenta es cuando tengas el trombón en la mano, y sobre todo en la orquesta, que se puede estar durante los descansos escuchando a mil cosas, a muchos músicos tocando cosas buenas, cosas malas, pero al final, cuando se ponga el trombón en la mano, hay que estar muy enfocado y hay que estar ahí a una concentración 110%. Y por eso, para él, no hace falta separar la cosa, hay que entrenar también esa idea que el concepto que suena más fuerte en el oído interno que lo que sale del trombón funciona cuando tengas el trombón en la mano. I think that's okay.
So Steve, what do you think?
Well, one comment that I would make, some of the same quality you hear in voice, and I can remember playing Tonka with Pavarotti, singing Cavaradas so many times, and he might do about half the performance, and midway through, rotate to the role Cavaradas, and I used to feel sorry for them because their clarity, to sing one note to next note, was nowhere like Pavarotti. This one of my favorite vocalists was Bert Moll, German bass. And you think that Bert Moll would sing exactly the way that Arnold Jacobs would play?
I'm sorry, Steve. We've got a bit of a problem with the connection.
Yeah,
I'm
that
having
was.
understanding
I
you.
did, yeah. Steve, do you think you can say that again? I'm sorry, but all I heard was there's some kind
All
of
right.
yeah, just a little slower.
All right. I think a lot of the qualities Shirley is talking about, from blowing from one note to the next note, is the same thing. When we do Tosca and Pavarotti would sing Pavarotti, he would be the first group of performances, and someone else would come in and take over the role. And I feel sorry for them because they wouldn't have done anything like the quality that Pavarotti did.
Got it.
Kurt Moll, drum and bass, I love listening to them sing. I used to think that Kurt Moll sounded like Alan Jacob was playing the guitar.
Yeah, good. I get it now.
Ya, pues no, está diciendo Steve que dando como ejemplos de los cantantes, pero que siempre para él tenía era muy afortunado de tocar con Pavarotti o con Kurt Moll, y siempre cuando ellos estaban cantando y la forma que tenían de conectar las notas y frasear, era una cosa que siempre le daba mucha pena a los que tenían que cantar después, porque tienen una forma de conectar las notas tan especial que nadie más estaba cerca a eso. I think that's what came out, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, there was a bad connection there, Steve, and you know, but it's not you. It's just that's the way this stupid thing is. But imagine this, everybody. We, 2 years ago or a year ago, we couldn't do this. Nobody could do this. Nobody could get together and have 20 or 30 people at one time, talking like this. And after this whole thing is over with, for sure, Zoom or other companies are going to come up with better ways of doing this. And one question for all of you who teach or try to play into this stupid Zoom thing, I have yet to find anything that sounds good. Someone will play for me on this thing and it's just distorted all over the place, and you can't really tell anything about the tone quality. So what I do is I have my students send me through, I guess it's on email, Google Drive or something like that, where they record with a good microphone and record it and send it to me. I listen to it, and I'm getting enough courage together to actually plug this old Zoom microphone or this recorder thing into my computer, which I haven't used for years. It's just an old desktop computer, and the reason I'm saying all that is that I would these people would send me these things, and I would take the iPhone and put and record onto it, either with the the FaceTime doesn't work very well either, but just send a text with a movie of me playing. And I started doing that, and then I started listening more carefully at what I was sending out, and I was horrified. Whenever you play anything into a machine like that and listen back to yourself, I don't know anybody that likes it, and I certainly don't like it. So the idea is to get something that works okay I think this is going to work okay. Put it into the computer, send it that way, instead of trying to play live like that. So what we do is they send it, I talk, and then we have everybody has a Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have like 4 or 5 students, but instead of being an hour and back and forth and playing, all we do is for a half hour, we talk about the things that they played and how they're doing physically, mentally throughout this crisis, and just generally checking in with everybody. So, and I'll finish this statement up. But so this is what I'm talking about. This idea of being able to communicate with all of you in this way, 10, 20, 30 people like this, that some people, I mean, I'm looking at faces here, and I recognize some faces, of course, but there are a lot of faces that I don't recognize, and seeing the names printed next to the face is really a great thing for me. But at any rate, so to see everybody and to communicate like this is unusual in the modern day time. It's unusual anytime. Can you imagine 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or Steve, back when, there were no cell phones and you dialed on a rotary phone, to get somebody, I mean, the technology has gone out of this world. So I'm just happy to see everybody. And I just want you to know that we're all trying to do the best we can. And everybody must take care of yourselves through this process. So Mark, have at it.
No, dice Charlie que estaba hablando un poco de cómo dar clases a distancia, y en primer lugar que hay que darse cuenta de lo increíble que está esta situación, que imagínense hace años cuando solo teníamos un teléfono normal, que con todo lo que tenemos ahora con esta tecnología, qué increíble es poder estar conectado de esa forma, además estando tan lejos. Y eso sí, decía que por ahora, dando clases a distancia, a él le cuesta mucho la estructura normal de una clase, ¿no? Es decir, una hora que se toca a uno, se toca a otro, que más bien la gente envía sus grabaciones de calidad y él envía su grabación para que ellos puedan escuchar alguna cosa. Por supuesto, tocando esos micrófonos y esos aparatos, nunca suena como a nosotros realmente nos gustaría, pero dice que a raíz de eso, en una clase normal suya hoy en día, en esta época, que pasa una media hora de esa hora de clase también hablando de cómo está el alumno, como efectivamente chequeando que todo el mundo está bien, y cierra diciendo que ojalá que todo el mundo se cuida muchísimo y sí, que salgamos bien de esa situación tan extraña que estamos ahora mismo. Thanks, Charlie.
Sure. Cosimo, you cut your hair. You have short hair. It's good to see you. And Alessandro. And Alessio. Oh my God.
There was one question here that came from some, which was actually just in concrete. What's the best way to, if you're a bass trombonist, what's the best way to get to grips and start studying the contrabass trombone?
Oh my God. Well, I'll just say this because I know that, I have it right here. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
El Hugo.
What is it?
It's a tuba mouthpiece, kind of. What I do with that is that I use it. I've used it a lot. When did I actually buy this thing? This is a Hog, and it must have been in the early 90s, something like that. I've had it a long time. And I have played it on a lot of Verdi. When we do some Verdi, I've played it on, just the big pieces that would require it or want that conductors would like to have it or hear it. Sometimes I will play it if it's just a part that fits pretty good to play it, and just to play it, just to have it perform with it. I have performed Lebedev. I have two arrangements. I have a Lebedev, the concerto in one movement that I had written out down. Instead of A, E, F, it's E, A, D. It's the same positions, but it's G of F. But it's hard. It's hard to play. It's hard to play air-wise because it's a struggle. It takes even more air than the bass trombone, and it's hard to. It's big and cumbersome and all that kind of stuff. I'll say that in Gabriele, we went out. We did some work this summer, or I was trying to play his contra, and it was really a struggle because he didn't have the right tuning with the valves like you would on the bass trombone. So bass trombone, B flat, F, D, okay? Contra bass trombone that I think is important is F, C, D flat, or F, C, A. So it's the same, you get the same motor memory that you're used to playing. So you can pick up the thing and play a Bordoni or something that you know from your head and just put it in the similar positions and play it, and you're playing down a fourth. The problem is fourth and fifth position is a long way away. And there are certain notes that are a real struggle to get. But having said all that, in these last 2 months, every day I sit up here and I blow either just some isolated slow scales, 2 notes at a time, ba, ba, like that. It really as full as I can on the contra. I do all the keys like that, and then I put it away, and then I go to whatever else I'm playing. And there are few things that I can play from memory. Not many, but there are a few things that I can play, melodies, and I play them on the contra bass trombone or the F trombone. So I know this is going to be a challenge for you, Mark, and I'm going to try to get Gabriele's picture up here so he sees this. But what this does is when I pick up the bass trombone, after playing this thing, it's there. The sound is there, it's clear, and I can play it. When I start off on the bass trombone, just normally, I have to work at it a little bit just to get things going. But when you start off on something that takes a lot more air and it's really a kind of a struggle to play, then you play the bass or the tenor or the alto trombone or any of those trombones are over there. They're all there, looking at me every morning or every day. Anyhow, so Mark, good luck with that. And basically the contrabass, the F trombone, is a vehicle for me. I like to play it in an ensemble for sure because it's really great on certain things. It just takes more air even than the bass trombone. But basically, it helps me at my elderly age, of being able to play. It helps me with air.
Okay.
So say that, Mark. Good luck.
Here we go. Pues Charlie estaba diciendo que en principio ya estaba probando el verano pasado el contrabajo de Gabriele y lo que le costó en principio era la diferencia de configuración de las transpositores. Es decir, que lo típico de un trombón bajo es el si bemol, fa, re, pero claro, con el contrabajo, si tiene la afinación estilo, bueno, alemán, lo que yo también conozco, no tiene la misma configuración. Es decir, que no se puede coger el trombón contrabajo y tocar simplemente con las mismas posiciones, cualquier cosa que igual tiene en la cabeza. Pues además, por supuesto, lleva más aire y es grande y un poco, como se dice, como torpe, un poco difícil, ¿no? de dominar en ese sentido. Pero sin embargo, estaba diciendo que si está estudiando, ahora que ya ven que tiene un contrabajo Haag en su casa, lleva como unos 10 años con ese trombón o algo así, creo, si no me equivoco, y estaba diciendo que si empieza con ese instrumento es una pasada, porque después se coge el trombón bajo, normal, y todo está ahí en punto, todo funciona, el aire va mucho mejor, está todo colocado y en su sitio. Eso es muy interesante para él porque, claro, ese instrumento, sobre todo que dice él, ya es un poco mayor de edad, que no creo, pero que dice que con eso ya el contrabajo le ayuda muchísimo todavía a estar en punto con el aire. Sin embargo, muchos días, si empieza directamente con el trombón bajo, le cuesta y tiene que estar trabajando mucho para colocar el aire para que esté fluyendo bien. Y yo creo que más o menos eso es prácticamente todo lo que ha dicho. Sí. I think that's it.
Gabriele. Ciao, Gabriele. Gabriele, unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Gabriele.
ciao.
Ciao. Did
You
you ever
see my
get?
tattoo?
Huh? Did you ever get your valves tuned right?
On the contra?
Yeah.
I have the same.
I mean, when we were playing together this year, you were going to try to do something to fix all that intonation.
Yes.
No.
No, I know. After January when we met, I have the Kunststuhl contrabass because I played and I tried to play Bordogni, thinking to have a bass trombone, and it's much more easier than mine because the time position of the time are longer. The problem is the bell. On the time contrabass trombone, the bell is too high.
Right.
Everything is different. On the Kunststuhl is much better because it's the bell has the same position of the bass trombone, so everything is better.
Good.
But now I have my time. The Kunststuhl is the Scala Theater contrabass.
Oh no!
Yes,
no.
Yes. And I was in Milan when the coronavirus arrived to Italy.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, just checking.
Yeah, sure.
Good. It's great seeing you.
Sorry.
Okay, Mark.
No, sorry, there was just one question that someone asked a while ago, and I just wanted to get it in before Miss from Sabrina, and she asked about, she's obviously having some issues with stamina, and she was asking how would you guys approach improving your stamina?
Who asked that question?
Abel is Sabrina, no?
Sabrina.
Sí, Sabrina.
Is she on this picture someplace? I can't see anything. Is she on the chat here?
Haz tú la pregunta, Sabrina.
¿Yo?
Sí.
No?
Venga, Sabrina.
Es que, espera. ¿Se me oye? ¿Se me escucha bien?
Sí, perfecto.
Ah, vale. Que cómo podemos mejorar la resistencia.
Oh, Sabrina.
Es decir, sin estar mucho tiempo, a lo mejor cuando estamos en una orquesta, poder aguantar un concierto entero o todos los ensayos sin llegar a cansarnos, llegando bien al final.
Sabrina plays trumpet, and she asked
I'm sorry.
how she can improve the stamina when playing bass trombone.
Oh boy. Okay, let me Steve, go ahead. I mean, you know, when I saw a trumpet, I thought, oh, you poor thing, because playing trumpet, little mouthpiece, takes up so much little space of your lip, and trumpet players have more trouble with stamina than trombone players or bass trombone players or trumpet, horn, trombone, bass trombone, tuba. You know, it's like, so there's less lip. So you're focusing on a smaller part of your mouth. And you have to be really careful with that, because those little muscles will take just so much. So anyhow, I just wanted to say that. Steve, were you going to say something?
Yes, I know that Charlie is that he needs to get through his quick when he's playing. You have to give him the operator some point getting a question.
Steve, say that again, kind of slow. You're kind of breaking up.
Okay. So early in your practice, you have to go through your entire register to make sure that the object's going to be there. But I think one of the important things in endurance, least endurance problems is getting to the instrument. Ms. Jack would say sharp. And I think if you practice in lower register things, legato things, you're going to gauge the wind and you're going to increase the ability to be able to increase your nerves.
A lot of that is kind of breaking up, Steve. It's not your fault. It's a Wi-Fi or the connection or some
connection.
Yeah. Mark, did you get any of that?
I'm sorry, I didn't really get enough. Sorry.
I'll try once again.
Okay.
Miss Jeff, the reason the endurance is better is because the sound is sharp. The use of the instrument takes more of a toll on effects. You practice and register, low register, make sure that it creates a feel, and hopefully it will all be endurance.
Okay. I got something about low register, and make sure that when you practice on the low register, but I didn't get any more. But I wonder, just a suggestion
for Charlie.
Yeah.
Many times we can hear trombonist playing toi, 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 toi in this way. Can you suggest us some practice to destroy the toi, toi, toi?
Oh my God. Okay. All right, look. Toi is just a name of a sound that a person gets when the coordination between the slide, the lip, and the tongue are not exactly together. If they're exactly together with the rhythm, there will be no toi. But if the slide moves before the lip, or if the lip moves before the slide, or if the tongue, when you're tonguing, moves before either one of those, so you got to get the lip and the tongue and the slide have to go exactly together. That's the only way you're going to get rid of twa-twa. And my whole mission in life, thanks, Gabriele, is to get rid of that in my own playing, of course, but in my teaching. That's why I don't let anybody play more than 2 or 3 notes, because you hear that immediately, that coordination between the slide, the tongue, and the lips, and it has to be exactly right. And so I don't know how else to explain it. For years I've tried talking about it in different ways, but when it comes down to it, one note going to the next note, with nothing in between the sounds, nothing in between the notes, and the rhythm shows you when to move the slide and when to move your lips and when to move your tongue, and it happens at the exact same time. When you do that, then you have a chance to improve on every other part of your playing. But that has to be the basis of playing, is to get one note great and go to another note great with nothing in between those notes. You want sound, boom, boom, and it goes exactly with the rhythm, everything. It's not a boom, it's not a backhand strike, it's like, and the lip has got to go exactly with it. So that is my practice technique, my teaching, and everything in a nutshell. Because if you can do that, then all the excerpts in the world, every solo that you ever play is based on trying to get that happening every note that you play going to the next note. So, Gabriele, thanks, Gabriele. So, Mark, good luck with that.
Pues Gabriel estaba preguntando cómo se puede quitar el doigt, que suele pasar con muchos trombonistas. Y Charlie estaba diciendo que efectivamente cuando se escucha un doigt es porque el aire, la lengua y la vara no se mueve o no se pone en marcha al mismo momento. Pues para él, lo que se dedica tiempo, tanto en su estudio personales como dando clases con sus alumnos, es sincronizar ese evento. Es decir, que se mueve la vara con la lengua, con el aire en ritmo. Y el ritmo es el rey y todos esos aspectos de tocando se cambia y se mueve justo con el ritmo en el mismo momento. Y decir que se pasa desde una nota a otra nota sin nada raro entre medias, simplemente una nota, sonido, sonido, sonido. Y eso es lo que importa. Y iba a decir otra cosa, pero ya se me escapa. Pero bueno, eso es efectivamente lo que está diciendo, que hace falta esa sincronización. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean.
No problem. Steve, how you doing? Are you back?
No.
Where's Steve?
We lost Steve.
Steve.
No.
Oh, Steve.
No, it's not.
Has anybody found him?
No, we're looking.
Not in the reunion.
No.
Es que entró, pero ya.
Sí, yo lo acepto, pero no sé.
No está. I had a question, Charlie, for myself. I have I have many weaknesses in my playing, which I want to improve. But one thing I find difficult is to increase my single tonguing speed. It's something that I keep hitting a wall at about 116, and it's just something I've been doing for years, and I can't really get beyond it. Okay, have you got any ideas or tips?
Gabriele.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. All right, let me say something before Gabriele takes over and destroys every idea of tonguing. Let me just say one thing about that. I have got the slowest single tongue in the world. I couldn't single tongue 116 if my life depended upon it. And I have a wonderful little video that I took with my phone. One of the last couple times I was in Italy with Andrea Conti and Gabriele, and both of them were doing, they were showing me their way of single tonguing, and Conti, put on his metronome and he got it up to. Thank you, Gary. Got it up to like 134 or something like. These are 16th notes, to the beat. Okay, so he was just. So it's slow. It's I wanted to strangle him slow, and then Gabriele goes, I don't go ta ta ta. I go ba ba ba. And here's Gabriele going ba 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 ba, just faster than anything. And all I can do, and let me say one thing. All I can say about the single tongue is you take it as far as you can when, and early on. I wish I had done this more when I was younger, practicing single tonguing more when I was younger, and really pushing it. But I did to a certain point, and then I did the double tongue really slow and triple tongue really slow, and then it went, then I can play. If I hadn't done the double tongue and the triple tongue in my life early on, I would not be able to play stuff that's in the orchestra. I wouldn't be able to play my job. So I have to say that you have to learn to double all the multiple tonguings slowly. And let me say one more thing, and then because you can understand all this. I have a friend who wrote me this bass trombone concerto, Jim Stevenson, that I played a year and a half ago. And he's a trumpet player, and he said he had trouble with single tonguing fast as well. And he advised me, and I haven't stayed on top of it as much as I should, but he advised me to pick one note, put the metronome on, at whatever you can comfortably go until you run out of air, and keep it like that, and increase it, every few days. See if you can increase that every few days, but go from where it's comfortable, and okay, and Gabriele, if you, there are two more things I'm going to say. When you go ta 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 ta, as opposed to ba 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 ba, you can tell immediately that I can go ba 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 faster than I can go ta 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 ta. And that's where Gabriele has fooled every trombone player in the world about this, and I'm going to let him try to explain himself out of this one. But basically, you have to practice at a place where you can get it really well, and then move it ahead. And one more thing, the language. The Italians have the fastest single tongues in the world, because of their language. And the Spanish, it's the language of Gabriele. Yeah, we had some fun the last time we were together, playing old instruments in the shop. Anyway, so it's the language. It's the language as part of it. So where are you from, Mark?
I'm British, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But actually, this guy here who's from Colombia, he has a ridiculous single tongue speed, ridiculous, and it's the same. Yeah.
I think it's the language. So anyhow, try to explain that to people, and I want to watch Gabriele's face when he comes to blah blah blah.
Gabriel, shall I do a quick translation, or do you want to?
Yes. Yeah.
Ok, pues estaba preguntando a Charlie como porque una cosa que yo tengo así bastante floja es la articulación sencilla, ¿no? Que lo tengo bastante lento, como 116 si tengo suerte. Y estaba preguntando a Charlie si tenía algún tipo de consejo para acelerar, para que vaya un poco más rápido. Y él me dice que él tiene exactamente lo mismo, incluso si él llega a 116 está muy contento, ¿sabes? Pues... Pero él estaba comentando que por ejemplo, son dos medidas que él siempre toma. Una medida es que está seguro que el doble, pues él es capaz de usar un doble articulación o triple muy lento muy despacio, para que no se note la diferencia por donde para su sencillo. Y luego también empieza una cierta velocidad donde está muy cómodo y luego intenta día por día o semana por semana, acelerarlo un poco desde un lugar cómodo. Pero estaba comentando como una idea, ¿no? Un concepto que a él le parece que es una cosa según el idioma, porque el inglés suyo que es americano, lo mío que es británico, es muy difícil que como el idioma queda aquí, que no va muy rápido la lengua, pero sin embargo, los italianos como Gabriele o la gente de lengua materna española, como la lengua está muy así a frente de la boca, suelen tener una velocidad de sencillo muy rápido, mucho más rápido que nosotros. Thanks, Gabriele.
Gabriele.
I'm intrigued, by the way. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued too. You can't believe it. Bum, 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 bum. I said, are you tonguing that? He says, no. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. It's simple. Because for me, the articulation of the sound start from the beginning of the lips.
Fantastic.
I start yes, because when I was 10 years, 11 years, my first teacher said me, you have to use the tongue in this way. I started in this way. When I went to school, my teacher in the conservatory said me, okay, no, too much tongue. But he didn't tell me how much tongue. And for imitation, yes, and my teacher had an unbelievable sound. And for imitation, I try to have the same articulation and the same sound without tongue. Because he said me, no tongue, and I tried. And for imitation, I started to play without tongue. And when I play also staccato, double tongue, the double tongue or I play without. And my tongue is leaping in my mouth.
So how do you produce it with a lot of bees? Or?
Yeah.
If
you I produce the sound in the same way you say pa.
Okay.
Pa, and this is the same. If I have the ring.
Wow. Wow.
Pa, 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 pa.
Okay. Something. My playing will fall apart now in a week.
Good luck.
And this is the reason. The reason when I sing, when I practice, or when I sing in my mind, I use the articulation I use in my mind is pa.
I use it too. The bar I use too, but I don't do it actually on the instrument. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
I prefer pa because the sound is from the lip soon.
Perfect.
Pa. Ta is a little bit behind, I think, for me. So I prefer pa when I sing and pa when I play. The same.
It's fantastic. Now,
Wow.
question: how do you teach that?
Oh, I teach that I don't use the tongue, but the players can do that, can use the tongue. I suggest not too much tongue, because for me the tongue is like a medicine. If I use a little bit, the tongue can help me. If I use too much, medicine can kill me. Okay, it's like a medicine. And but it's very, very important. Don't put the tongue in the middle of the lip, because if I do that, I stop the hair every time. And I don't want to stop the hair, never. Okay.
Cool.
So everybody, if the people, if
Yeah.
they want, they can use. For me, the important is the result. And then the people can play the mouthpiece here or here or here. It's not important for me. The important thing is the result, il risultato. Okay. I want to arrive very close to the idea I have in my mind. And I'm so lucky because I had an unbelievable teacher in my life. And when like Charlie and Steve, and I have a lot of example in my mind. So I want to go very close to the imagination I have in my mind. So it's not too much important where is my tongue. The important is play the same thing I have in my mind.
Right.
And sing every time.
So Mark, explain all that.
Great. Okay. It's new for me. Yeah.
I have a question.
Can I just translate? Yeah. Before I forget. Sí, no. Lo que estaba diciendo a Gabriele es que como él empezó articulando cuando cogió el trombón al principio, y su profesor le enseñaba a tocar ta como con la lengua entre los labios. Pues él después se fue a otro profesor, un gran profesor que tenía un sonido excelente, y él siempre estaba diciendo a él, no, Gabriel, menos lengua, menos articulación con la lengua. Y él, como nunca decía que realmente todavía hay que articular, Gabriel, para intentar copiar o asimilar eso y conseguir la misma calidad de sonido y articulación, pero lo hizo sin la lengua porque lo entendió así. Y desde entonces, él ha articulado de esa forma, porque además, parece lo que estaba contando, que lo ha cultivado muchísimo, y ahora a él incluso le gusta mucho más articular con el pa, porque, bueno, con esto, por supuesto, como han visto, ¿no? El visualizador, esto es estable, pero con el pa, que empieza de la lengua, porque del labio, porque le parece que desde ahí sale el sonido, y además, si se bloquea, que es lo peor que puede pasar, dice, si la lengua bloquea entre los labios, pues está parando el aire. que eso es lo peor que puede pasar porque no deja el aire fluir como debería. De todos modos, para él, lo más importante es el resultado. Es decir, que a él realmente le da igual si alguien, un alumno o alguien está empleando un tipo de técnica, un ortodoxo, mientras suene bien y el resultado está bien. Y eso es lo que, si por ejemplo, que es, no mucha gente es un poco ortodoxo, pero da igual si está saliendo el instrumento lo que él quiere conseguir. I think that more or less sums it up, Gabriele, I think. Yeah.
Great. And you had another question.
Yes. Gabriele, Charlie, and Steve, I would like to know how do you get a good musician, when, and why?
Say it again. Explain one more time.
I would like to know how do you become a good musician, when it happened, and why?
Good question.
Okay. Steve, are you here anywhere? Is Steve here?
Yes.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah,
Where are you? I'm looking.
I'm not sure how good that connection is.
Okay, I see you. Okay.
I think you need to play with as many great players as you can. When you're in the environment of a lot of great players, you're naturally going to improve.
Mm-hmm. Ok, dice Steve que lo más importante es que tocar con la mayor cantidad de músicos excelentes y los más músicos excelentes que se escucha y toca con ellos a su alrededor, lo más que se mejora como músico sí mismo.
Yeah. I forgot the question. I was just so happy to see Steve that I
The question is, how do you become a good musician, when and why?
Okay. Again, the idea that Steve just said about playing with great players, that's a huge positive thing that you do. Let me put it to you this way, and this Mark, good luck with this, okay? So look, when I was 16 years old, 17, 16, something like that, I knew that I loved the trombone in my hand. I knew that when I graduated from high school, when I was 18, I knew for sure that the trombone was going to be a part of my life. I didn't know how. I thought I was going to play in a big band, play lead trombone in a big band, or be a band director, or something on that nature. I had no idea about, I played in all-state orchestras when I was in school, and I played in all-state bands, and I love playing in bands. And what I really loved was playing. You know, when I was even younger than that, when I first started the trombone, first started playing, the band director took me to a room of instruments, and he opened up this brown case, mildew brown, just brown. Opened it up, and these old, there were student line instruments called Olds, O-L-D-S, Olds trombone. And a new trombone is lacquered, and it's gold looking, and it's got you know, in the new case, it's this nice green felt and all this kind of stuff. Well, the felt was brown, and the lacquer on the trombone was really brown, and it smelled. You open up the case, and it was like, you know, it was a smelly thing that, you know, just to see. But I looked at that, and my mind, I looked at it and I said to myself, I know what that is. I know what that is. Meaning, I had seen the trombone in bands and on TV and all this kind of stuff. But wow, I know what that is. And I took it, and that started this road of the love affair of me and the trombone. So every time that I had it in my hand, like band class was the last class of the day, usually. And all day long, I just couldn't wait to get to the band to play. And then I'd practice. I practiced more than most kids in high school because I just loved playing. I didn't practice the right things necessarily, but I loved playing. And so from that moment, from 18 years old, basically, when I was going to college, I knew that the trombone was going to be in my life because I really, really enjoyed it. I really had fun with it. And the thing I'm getting at here is that if you have fun and you really love playing it, you know, if you can sit and practice and practicing until you lose concentration, but really enjoying that concentrated time for 20, 30 minutes at a time, and really not knowing what time it is, you know, just everything can happen, but you're focused on that and you're having a wonderful time with this connection with this way of expressing yourself from your brain through an instrument. If you have that in the beginning, I call that as a passion. If you have a passion for the instrument and you know that you really love playing it, you're going to be okay. Because if you have that, you can do anything you want. And I say that, and this is one of Mr. Jacobs's statements that comes to me all the time. When I'm teaching, I tell people this all the time. You take what you have, what you've been given, the talent that you have, and you make it the best that you can make it. Not that so-and-so can make it, and not that, you know, anybody else. You make it the best that you can make it. And once you do that, you'll be in competition with the great players in the world. So that right there, the love of the instrument, the desire to make it as good as you can, and on that road of doing that is when things happen. In my wildest dreams, when I was that age, I knew that there were big orchestras out there, but, you know, and in the 60s, when I was in the early 60s, I had no idea that the Chicago Symphony was in Chicago here and building that tradition, that early tradition in the 60s with Reiner and Jacobs and Kleinhammer and all those guys. You know, I had no idea. All I knew was that I was going to play the trombone and I was going to have fun and I was going to be the best I could be. So that's the best answer I can give you.
Johnny.
Jody, I can't see either. That's about the best answer I can give. If you love playing and you have a passion and you want it to be as good as you can, there is a place somewhere for you to make music.
Okay.
Thanks.
Gracias. Pues para traducir, que Charlie estaba contando un poco cómo llegó a, vamos, que cuando tenía 15, 16 años, que él siempre, incluso desde esa edad, sabía que el trombón iba a ser un parte muy importante de su vida. O sea, y sabía que, porque todos los días tenía, por ejemplo, la última clase del día que tenía era una clase de banda o de agrupación o algo así, y todos los días estaba pensando durante todo ese tiempo en coger el trombón. Y él sabía que cuando tenía el trombón en la mano, que estaba contento, tenía una pasión, lo ha llamado ya varias veces una pasión. Y era el principio en ese momento de su amor por el trombón, ¿no? Y efectivamente dice que él sabía que a partir de 18 años el trombón iba a ser un parte muy importante de su vida, quizás tocando como trombón en un big band o liderando un big band como director o lo que sea. No sabía en sus que había como, por ejemplo, en su tradición, sus antecesores y todo eso. Pero lo más que puedo decir es que lo importante es que tener una pasión por el instrumento y buscar ese momento del día que están estudiando, esos 25 minutos, 30 minutos, está totalmente absorbido en el instrumento y que prácticamente no se nota pasar el tiempo y simplemente se está disfrutando de la conexión, de proyectar las ideas de la cabeza como medida de comunicación a través del trombón. Y si se disfruta de esa forma, si tiene esa pasión y amor por el instrumento, no van a tener ningún problema. Incluso es más, que lo más importante es lo que decía Arnold Jacobs, que intenta ser siempre, tomar lo que tienen físicamente o los talentos que tienen y hacer de eso lo mejor que tú puedes ser. No intentar ser mejor que el que está a tu lado, ella a tu lado, o no. Fija en lo que, de hacer lo mejor que se puede hacer con los dones, con lo que tiene, los talentos que tiene. Y mientras ese proceso verán que pasarán cosas en camino, ¿sabe? Que incluso se va a tocar cada vez con mejores grupos y todo eso, pero la motivación principal es eso. Y eso, si se puede mantener disfrutando y todo eso, pues se va a salir bien la cosa y va a disfrutar y van a pasar cosas. Incluso en este caso se encontrará en el mismo nivel que los mejores del mundo, si se queda fiel a este concepto. That's it.
And there is...
Gabriele,
Yes.
I have a physical therapy at top of the hour, and I don't have to leave, but I thank everyone to be with everyone today.
I know. I don't hear you, Steve.
Say it again.
I have a physical therapy at the top of the hour.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
but it's been an honor to be with everyone and wish everyone all my best.
Okay.
Just Steve.
Is Tico there? Tico?
Yeah, I don't know.
¿Dónde está? Steve, I want to present you Tico. Charlie, do you remember Tico?
Yes, I'm
And I would, before to leave and say you bye, Tico would like to organize with the Palau de la Música because he is a conductor of the Palau de la Música in Valencia. He would like, as soon as possible, coronavirus, a masterclass with you and Charlie together in Valencia. And he will try to arrange this masterclass.
Tico.
Yeah. So I have the pleasure to present Tico and Steve for this special appointment as soon as possible.
That
Okay,
sounds
Steve?
wonderful.
Okay, and Charlie together.
Yeah, that sounds great. It's funny, if we didn't have this coronavirus, we'd be busy as we could, busy as hell, you know?
Yeah.
But now that we aren't busy, we have the virus to deal with. So I would love to go now.
Me too.
But there's no way I'm getting on a plane, you know? So
We will try.
yes, of course, Steve, for Steve and I to be together like that in Spain would be, or Italy would be fantastic. So
yeah.
we're always trying to think that way, but we're always busy. And now that we're not busy, we can't go.
Chico, I greatly look forward to this happening. It would be a great honor, and I'm very excited about this, sometime in the future. Everybody be well.
Ciao, Steve.
Bye.
Thank you for coming. Ciao,
Bye-bye,
ciao.
Steve.
Ciao.
Nice to meet you.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
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 Johnny, I would like to add a small answer to your question. I think that for being a musician, we should understand another concept, me first. And sometimes we play the instrument like an instrument, okay? And I think that we should understand that we are the instrument. And I choose the bass trombone because I love this instrument. But I'm the instrument, and I want to transmit the music I have in my mind, in my heart, attraverso, through the instrument. And I understood this concept when I was in Chicago, and I was listening the Chicago Symphony, and they was playing the Also sprach Zarathustra. And my seat was in front of the trombone section, under the big drum players. And she is a very small girl, the Korean, and she was playing the big drums, and she was playing unbelievable music with the big drums. And I understood that she is. I never thought that we can be musician with big drums. And in that moment, I thought that the instrument was her. And if we understand that we are the instrument, we can play like a musician. Okay, the instrument is just a piece of metal, and we have to understand that we have to love to transmit through to the instrument our music. That's important to be a musician, I think.
Sí.
Para traducir rapidito, entonces, estaba contando Gabriele que para él lo más importante para entender es que la música viene de la persona y el instrumento es simplemente una manera de proyectar esas ideas y proyectar la musicalidad que tiene cada uno dentro de sí. Y un ejemplo que ha utilizado para apuntar eso, para que sea más claro, es que él se fue una vez, bueno, varias veces, pero cuando estuvo en un concierto de Chicago, estaba escuchando Así habló Zarathustra, y estaba muy cerca de una chica tocando la gran caja, una chica coreana, pequeña y todo eso, y se daba cuenta que ella estaba involucrada totalmente y en el proceso musical de la música, y él hasta ese punto no había pensado que se podía tocar un gran caja siendo gran músico, pero se daba cuenta en ese momento que esa muchacha tenía la música dentro de sí y estaba proyectando su musicalidad a través de la gran caja. En ese momento se daba cuenta que da igual el instrumento, al final lo importante, y lo estaba hablando en concreto a Johnny, por supuesto, pero a todos nosotros, que lo que hay que hacer es tener la musicalidad dentro y luego el instrumento. No importa tanto si estamos, si el proceso va bien, estamos cantando a través del instrumento. I think that's it, yeah.
Good job.
Okay. Abel, I think we should finish.
Yeah.
And
What time is it? What time is it there in Italy and Spain?
In Spain is
50 minutes to 7.
Yeah.
Okay, because I see sunlight coming. Is that you, Frederica? I see sun coming in from. Where are you? Are you in Spain or Italy?
No, Italy. I'm in Italy, Tuscany.
Tuscany. Okay.
So the sun goes down right now. Yeah.
Trombone?
I'm not.
Play trombone?
No, I'm a percussionist.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm a friend of Gabriele, and he invited me to listen in, and it's very interesting. Also for me that I'm a percussionist, but I like to hear you. Good. Thanks, Gabriele.
That's great.
And in Tuscany, it's time to go to have dinner. Antipasto, primo, secondo. It's a joke with me and Charlie.
in Valencia. In
So,
Valencia too.
what is Carla cooking tonight?
I don't know.
Ragu.
Surprise. I sent you a picture of the ragu.
Yeah, it was great. Just so long as this, yeah, I have trouble with the rabbit ragu, but that's okay. Are they? Oh well, never mind. I'm not going to ask you about your stock.
And Steve ate little birds. You know, and
Yeah.
it's not food for you.
Well, this.
But in Spain, last time we had an unbelievable paella.
Oh my
at the
gosh!
restaurant.
I've got a
Unbelievable.
picture of that. I have a picture of that on my phone.
Yeah.
That was a
Nico
great
and
time.
his father
How are they?
brought us to a restaurant and we have paella. Oh my God.
Gabriele, how are they? How are they? He and his father, how are they doing?
Yeah, they are okay. Yeah, all the family. Yes.
That was some of the most fun time I've ever had in my life, trying all those ancient instruments. I played that.
Do you know the bottega of Tico's father,
Yeah,
Don Vicente? And the picture. Yeah.
that's right.
And his father has a lot of instrument, very old instrument. And me and Charlie, we tried all the instrument, and we were a little bit drunk, just a little bit, and
just a little bit.
Unbelievable night. We had an unbelievable night. Yeah,
that was so much fun.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe that. Seems like such a long time ago, but we had such a wonderful time. But I have to say, before we leave, this has been a wonderful thing for me and for Steve and for all of us to see each other again. So know that throughout this pandemic thing, that we all think of each other, and like we send texts back and forth, Gabriele, and I miss you and your family. And this is a great way to actually see everybody. I'm flipping here. I've taken pictures of everybody just to so I can go back and enlarge it and see who was there and all this kind of thing. But it's a oh no, it disappeared. Oh crap. Wait a minute. There it is. So at any rate, I just want to say that it's been all right.
Wait,
Yes, I remember. So we had a wonderful time, and every time we see each other, it's a wonderful time. And I appreciate so much that you're doing this. And let's try to do it again in a few weeks or something. Just any time that you want to get just to do it again, all you have to do is send me this link, and I'm on. I'm all my students, they do that for me. As you know, I'm not really real good with all the technique of doing these things, but I can receive the Zoom call. So anytime. But take care, everybody.
Okay.
It's really been.
Charlie, when will you start with the Chicago Symphony again?
We found out 2 days ago that Ravinia Festival, the summer season, is gone.
Yeah.
So September.
Yeah. Also in Italy, maybe we think to start in a small ensemble in September, and with the audience not before November, December. We need how do you say in English? Bacino.
Bacino.
We need a medicine for this.
Vacuna.
Oh yeah, vaccine.
Vacuna.
We need a vaccine. We
Yeah.
need a vaccine. And it's a terrible thing. And you're probably okay. I'm okay as far as a job. They are still paying us at less rate. By September, it'll be less. But we're surviving. There are a lot of people who are not.
Yeah.
Who are really struggling and have a horrible time, and it could be a bunch of you, that I'm talking to right now. So it's an awful thing, but just keep the faith. Know that technology in the world is going to come up with a vaccine eventually, and we will be able to go back to some sort of a normality. The problem is when you put, hundreds of people together in a concert hall, and you do that every day, or 3 or 4 times a week, there's a lot of people getting together, and right now I don't see people wanting to do that. I don't, as much as I'd love to go out to dinner, we don't go out to dinner, we don't go any place.
Yeah.
And once a week we call a restaurant and we go pick up their meal once a week.
Anyway.
Yeah. And so the rest of the time, Allison has been cooking great. Allison and Gary and I are here, and the dog. And we're doing okay. Everybody has their time, practice and we have breakfast and lunch and dinner together, and everybody's busy with their own stuff.
Yeah.
And so at any rate, everybody, all of you, hang in there. Okay.
Okay, Charlie, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
And, I hope to see you soon. Okay.
Me too. You take care of yourself. And this is a Star Trek.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper. That's
Star Trek. Yeah.
So remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's this way. Okay, take care.
Give a kiss to Alison and Gary.
I will.
Okay.
If they want to be near me, I will.
Stay safe, Charlie. Stay
safe. Same to your girls and Carla.
Okay.
And it's great. It's great seeing all of you that I recognize faces, and now there's some names that go along. I can't see it right here, but I with headphones, I know that face. I've seen that face. I've probably heard you someplace. Abel.
In Valencia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Cosimo, that's great. I mean, it's really let's see who else. Victor, not on. And I remember you up at Vincent. Yes, I remember he was at that party. That's right. And I saw Alessandro earlier, and you guys are great. And Frederica, it's nice to see you. So Everybody take care. Ciao. Thanks.
Ciao, Charlie.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Okay, bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bueno, muchas gracias a todos. Gracias, Gabriele. Gracias, Marc.
No.
Y nos vemos. Hasta luego.
Venga.
Chao.
Okay. Thank you for coming, and I hope see you as soon as possible, everybody. And maybe with another Zoom if you want, and if Abel want to organize another Zoom.
It's not problem.
And okay, we stay in touch.
Estamos en
And
contacto.
take care.
Chao, chicos.
Grazie.
Ciao, grazie a voi.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.